Mastermind is a talented rapper and singer who's here with us now. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yep, I'm doing good as well. Now, first of all, how would you describe the style of the music you make?
Well, I mostly make like emotional rap.
Hmm,
So like, because I'm very in touch with my emotions at the moment because of my mental health and stuff,
yeah,
and I use that as lyrical material.
yeah, absolutely. And I guess that's quite interesting because rap is music that's often quite powerful stuff sometimes, isn't it? Because a
Yeah,
lot of focus is on the lyrics.
yeah, a lot of the time, yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you first decide that you wanted to be a rapper, so to speak?
Well, it came from like a lot of breakups and stuff and
Yeah.
heartbreak, and then I was like, you know what? I'll use this because I'm a lyrical genius. So I just wrote down my feelings in like a rhythm, and then I recorded it, and then my friends would like make a beat to it,
Mm,
and then yeah,
yeah.
I just publish it and see how it does. And that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And did you ever think about doing any other genres, or was rap just what you wanted to do precisely?
Well, I am good at singing like at like a fast pace, kind of like Eminem.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Um, and then I realized that I could do it quite well.
Mm,
So I was like, you know what? I'll just do this. But
yeah.
I'm planning on expanding like my catalog to something similar to like The Weeknd, so like R&B,
Yeah.
soul kind of stuff.
Ah. Yeah, that's quite interesting because he has kind of a cool sound and sort of a nostalgic style to his music as well
Yeah,
that's inspired by
yeah,
kind of previous decades.
yeah.
Yeah. So is that something that you've thought about doing yourself, kind of stuff that maybe multi generations can enjoy?
Yeah, because it's really unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So who would you say are some of your inspirations then?
Well, definitely my favorite rapper who's alive at the moment is Post Malone,
Uh,
100%.
yeah,
And there's also Juice World who helped me like get in touch with like my emotions and stuff.
yeah,
Um, Same with the kid Leroy who's recently been blowing up at the moment. I don't know why, he just
mm,
has.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Kid Leroy, Post Malone, Juice World, Weekend,
mm,
and like people like 24K Golden there who like basically I get my like inspiration from.
yeah, absolutely. And you've got a home studio as well, so I take it, even though we've been in a pandemic, you've still been able to record pretty comfortably.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've recorded like a lot of songs over like the last couple weeks and months
yeah.
that are still like in production, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff coming out soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, you don't have the time constraints of a studio because a lot of the time you're paying tens of pounds an hour
Yeah.
and, there's no time for messing around really when you're paying for your time. But, when
No,
you're
there's
at
not.
home, you
Yeah.
can sort of use it whenever you like and for whatever you like.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I normally record a song like typically in about like 10 minutes, one
Mm,
take, and it's all perfectly fine, and then I just send it off to my producer and he'll
yeah.
produce it within like a week.
Yeah. And I guess because you have a producer that does all the kind of production things, do you have a say on what he does, or do you leave that up to him for his mind to know how it's going to sound?
Basically I give him like an idea of what I want it to sound like, and
Yeah.
normally well how I work at the moment is I'll just be up at like 1 a.m. and
Ah.
I'll just write whatever's on my mind, but in like a rhythmic way. And
Yeah.
then when I wake up, I'll record it to the best of my ability, and then I'll send it off to my producer, who will just make a beat around my vocals,
Hmm. Yeah.
and then he'll send it back to me in like a week's time once it's all mixed and mastered and everything, and then I'll send it off to Spotify and etc.
Yeah. So when you kind of come up with a song, how do you do that? Is it just pretty much on the spot, kind of freestyling, or is there a little bit more kind of preparation that goes into it?
Well, as I said, like at like about 1 o'clock in the morning, I usually have like a lot of stuff on my mind, so I just
Mm,
write it down, and then as soon as I wake up in the morning, I just turn on my PC, and then I start
mm,
recording, and then um with the lyrics I wrote like last night, and it's like a full song. It's completely a full song,
yeah.
but I write it within about like 10 minutes and
Mm,
record it like about 10 minutes too.
yeah, absolutely. So, in the future, what kind
Yeah.
of stuff are you thinking of doing? Are you still going to be doing a similar type of music, or where do you see yourself?
Well, hopefully I see myself with like in a mansion, hopefully, but I still want to do like what makes me popular and what makes me me, but I
Yeah.
also want to expand and do more stuff than I'm doing at the moment, because I've been told by a lot of people, like professionals, that I've got a lot of potential,
Mm,
and they want to see me to like the best of my ability, which is what I'm trying to do at the moment. And I'm just trying to build up a fan base right now.
yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. So, when you're not making music, what do you like to get up to in your spare time then?
Um, I like to meet up with like friends and stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, and just have a good time really, because life's for the living. You only live once, so make it the
Oh,
best you possibly can.
yeah, absolutely. That's for sure. And I guess how's this pandemic affected you overall? Because even though you've had the home studio, I guess, you haven't been able to go out and meet fans as much as you would have wanted. And,
Yeah,
it's just perhaps inconvenient having to do
yeah,
everything from home.
yeah. I mean, because like of lockdown and everything, I've had more time in the studio, but um, it's just been like recently, because all my friends who I've like hung out with like over summer have like are either gone away now for like their holiday, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty lonely at the moment for like the last 2 weeks. So
Oh.
I've been in the studio the whole time, just banging out recordings, banging out writing,
Hmm.
and yeah. COVID,
Yeah.
like the whole pandemic thing, because I've been indoors the whole time, is actually like productively, it's been a better opportunity for me.
Hmm.
Whereas usually, like before COVID, I would get nowhere near half the stuff done
Yeah.
because I'd be out all the time.
Yeah, that's true, because a lot of people said they were going to use their time wisely for productive stuff like that, and
Yeah,
in the end ended up just eating pizza. So I take it you have actually used the time kind of
yeah, I
properly
have.
then.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of your kind of main inspirations, what do you like to write about? Is it kind of day-to-day life stuff, or is it perhaps more fiction?
Well, I basically take like my past experiences, and then because of how it makes me feel in my head, which is a lot more extreme than it actually is, I
Oh.
will um note down what I'm feeling, and I'll think, "Oh, that sounds really extreme and people will like that. That's unique. Nobody ever
Mm.
really does that." And then that just gives me a whole more lot of creativity when
Mm.
I'm writing.
Yeah, absolutely. In the not too distant future, do you have any specific songs that you've got coming up that you can tell us about?
I do, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um I've got one coming out next Friday, the
Uh-huh.
20th, called Not Coming Back. It's basically about the aftermath of breaking up with somebody who was really like controlling and
Mm.
just wanted to use me for like their own, well, personal use. And it's basically about me saying, "You know what? I'm done and I'm not coming back. So
Yeah.
you can think whatever you want. I'm not coming back." And then in 2 weeks after that, I've got another one called "I Don't Know What to Feel Like," which is basically me just thinking, "You know what? I'm just gonna leave all that behind. I'm gonna start a new life, and I'm gonna be a completely different person."
Yeah.
And how I release my music is I'll have like a 3 or 4 week period where I'll release about like no, like one song a week for 3 weeks,
Mm,
and each one of these trilogies is called a chapter, and we're currently in chapter one, obviously.
yeah.
And then after September, I'll take like a little break, and then in like October, November time, I'll release chapter two, which will have like a 3 week period, and then one single each week. And yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
work. And then chapter three obviously will be the album with like around like 10, 20 tracks on it,
Wow.
which I'm working really hard on right now.
Yeah. Well, where are we able to listen to your music if we'd like to do that?
You can check out my Spotify, Mastermind with a Y, obviously not an I. Um, and yeah, it's up there. It's not got many streams at the moment because I haven't really done any promotional stuff, and it just came out yesterday. But
Yeah.
if people listening to this can stream it, that would mean the world to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on the show today.
Thanks for having me.